Dear student, my name is Shahid. Today I will explain the Pearson Edexcel base level chemistry, Unit 1, Topic 4, Introductory Organic Chemistry and Alkanes, only the multiple choice section. In the next session, I will upload the section B questions. Here I try to explain the questions in an easy and quick way to reduce your time and how quickly you will reach to the right answer. Question number 1. All alkanes have the same. Now, alkenes, alcohol, they are homologous series. So all the homologous series have the same general formula. So the correct option is option B. Question 2. Cyclopentane undergoes free radical substitution with bromine. Which of these is an overall equation for this reaction? For this question, you must know that cyclopentane and pentene, they have same molecular formula, that is C5 and H10. When it reacts with bromine, so one hydrogen will be replaced by bromine, so we will get C5H9Br plus HBr. So in this case, if you compare our answer, so the correct option is option D. In part B, which statement is not correct about this reaction system? Only the initiation step involves homolytic bond fission. Only some bromine is converted to free radical in the initiation step. Propagation forms more products than termination, and further substitution reactions are likely to occur. So if you see here, this option and this option is correct. Propagation gives more products, and this is chain reaction, so it keeps going on. This one, the option A, that terminate the initiation step involves homolytic bond fission. Yes, but actually homolytic bond fission takes place in the propagation step as well. So this word will make this statement wrong, and this is the correct answer. And part C, which free radical is least likely to form in a propagation step in this reaction system? In this case, the correct option is option D, as hydrogen is the smallest atom and its bond length will be very small, and it is very difficult for hydrogen to be formed as a free radical. Part D, which alkane could be formed in the termination step in this reaction. So if you remember, we studied like that it was cyclopentane. So if one free radical forms here and the other free radical forms here, so if this free radical and this free radical joins together, they will make a bond, and then we can make a compound like this, and this gives the correct option, option C. The two free radicals join and will give C10 and H20. In this case, H18, sorry. Question number 3, what is the empirical formula of butane? It's a simple question. Butane is C4 and H10. So the empirical formula, the simplest ratio will be C2H5. Correct option is option B. This question 4, how many structure isomers have the formula C3H6Cl2? I will suggest that if you could easily draw the structure and work out the question to reach to the correct answer, to save time, you must work out with the skeletal formula. Now there are two chlorine. So in the first case, if we attach chlorine here and here, one structure. Then in the second structure, if we attach chlorine here and here, second structure. And in the third structure, if you attach one chlorine here and one chlorine here, and in the fourth structure, both chlorine can be attached to the central carbon. So in all the structure, chlorine have different positions. So the correct option is option C. Question number 5, which is the skeletal structure of for 3,4-dichloro 2,2-dimethyl pentane? First of all, you have to select the longest chain, and then number from that side to which the branch is closer. So 1, 3, 4, and 5. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, if you look at the question like 3, 4 dichloro. So this question 3 and 4 dichloro. Okay. And this is 2, 2 dimethyl. Yeah. So the first structure exactly according to the name. So the correct option is option 5. Question 6. The partial oxidation of butane in the presence of catalyst has been investigated as a possible source of hydrogen. What is the most significant hazard associated with the pollutant carbon monoxide? You know that carbon monoxide is a poisonous gas, toxic gas, and it stops the blood to carry oxygen. So here they are asking what is the most significant hazard associated with carbon monoxide. So major contributor to formation of acid rain. It's not good. Strongly absorbed infiltration. No, it is toxic at low concentration. So the correct option is option C. Part B, a mixture of 40 cm cube of butane and 20 cm cube of oxygen reacts in a sealed system to form carbon monoxide and hydrogen. What is the total volume? What is the total volume of gas in the system at the end of reaction? Now, obviously, this question, although organic equation is involved, but like it is from unit 1, which is the calculation, unit 1 topic 1, which is the calculation part. So here butane was given to us. Equation is given in the previous page, but I will copy it here because we need it to write down carbon monoxide. Here hydrogen gas is also produced. Now, this is multiple choice question is they mention that all reactants and products are in the gaseous state. Now, look at here. They gave us 40 cm3 of butane. So this is given to us 40 cm3, while 20 cm3 of oxygen. So 20 cm3. First of all, we have to find out the limiting reactant. If the 2 moles volume is given 20, so the 1 mole volume will be 10 cm3. And the 1 mole volume is 10, so this is 4. So 40 is given, so this is in excess. So we will work out with the limiting reactant now. Now, the 2 moles volume is 20. So according to this, the 1 mole volume should be 10. Now, this will be all consumed because this is limiting reactant. 4 moles carbon monoxide is produced. So the 1 mole volume under this condition is 10. So here this will produce 40 cm3. This is 5 moles of hydrogen. So 50 cm3. Now let's come here. 2 mole volume is 20. The 1 mole volume is 10. So here it is only 1 mole. So out of 40 which is given, only 10 will be used up and 30 cm3 will remain unreacted. So 30 cm3 of butane left unreacted, 40 cm3 of carbon monoxide, and 50 cm3 of hydrogen is produced. So the total volume of the gas in the system at the end of reaction is 120 cm3. You will add all this one, and this one. So the correct option is option D. Petrol, bioethanol, and hydrogen are fuels. All three of these fuels burn to produce greenhouse gases, are overall carbon neutral, are poor sustainable, are biodegrade rapidly. So here the only correct option is option A, because they produce greenhouse gases, carbon all overall carbon neutral. So look at here, hydrogen has no carbon, so this doesn't work over here. All or overall sustainable. So petrol is not sustainable, biodegrade rapidly. So they are crude oil and they are not biodegradable. Biodegradable term is used for the polymers. Now, what is the name of a series such as the one shown? So as they give a link in the question series, so we know if we know only one series in organic, that is homologous series. Look at here, if you count the carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are the compounds of the homologous series. Here you have to work out about the molecular formula of the compound shown in question number 9. So look at here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 carbon, and hydrogen is 1 and 1, 2, and oxygen is 1, 2, 3, 4. Oxygen is 4, so the correct option is option B. Question 10, the IUPAC system, systematic name of alkane. Now we will select the longest continuous carbon chain. Then you will number the chain from that side, that the branches should get the least number. If you number from this side, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So even if a student number from this side, so look at here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But now, if you add the position where branches are connected, methyl, methyl, and methyl. So for the pink color, this is attached at third position, 5 position, and 6 position. So 3 plus 5 plus 6, we will get 14. And from this side, the numbering which we gave, so one is at 3 position, one is at 4 position, one is at 6 position. So 3 plus 4 and plus 6. So 7 plus 6, 13. So this is smaller number. So this numbering is wrong, while this numbering is correct. So it means we will delete this numbering. This is not working over here. So you have to strictly follow the rules which you studied in the book. So 3,4,6 trimethyl and octane. 3,4,6 trimethyl octane. Option C is the correct option. Question 11, a sequence of 4 molecules shown. All these are alcohol. Alcohol functional group is mentioned here. What is the molecular formula for the 5th molecule in this sequence? For alcohol, the formula is CnH2n plus 1 and OH. Or you can also write in this way if you combine hydrogen together. So CnH2n and bring this H here. So plus 2 and O. Is molecular formula they're asking, so this formula would be better. Now, this is 1, 2 carbon, then 3 carbon, then 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, in the next one, so we will keep carbon 6 plus 2, 3, 4, 5, and now 6 carbon. So, if carbon is 6, so this is 2 times 6 plus 2 and O. So, C6, this is 12 plus 2, 14 and O. So, C6H14O, and the correct option is option C. So it's better to work out this question and read to the correct answer instead of randomly giving the answer. What is the name of this type of sequence? So again, this question is repeating question again and again it comes. So as the number of carbon atoms were increasing in the chain, so it was homologous series. The functional group is alcohol and compounds were given homologous series. Question 12. Which mixture could be formed when single molecule of C12H26 is cracked? 4 options are given to us. And look at here, when a single molecule of C12H, now here are carbons are 12. If you look at here, so this is 4 carbon here, this is in pentane, there are 5 carbons, and this is 3 carbon. So 4 plus 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, but this is butene, so hydrogen will be double. Hydrogen will be 2 more than double, and this will be also double. So hydrogen 2, sorry, C4 and H8, sorry. 8 plus 12, 20 and 6, 26. This is perfect. This is carbon is 6, carbon is 4, and carbon is 2. Again here 12, so work out the question. If carbon is 6, so hydrogen should be 14 because this is hexane. If carbon is 4, so hydrogen should be 8 double, and ethene, so C2 and H. 6. Now look at here, the carbon number is equal to 12, but hydrogen, so 14 plus 8, 22 plus 6, 28. So this does not work. Nonane is 9 plus 2, so 11. Propene is 3 and this is 10, so 13 total carbon. So these two also doesn't work. So the correct option is option A. So it's better to work out the molecular formula of each compound given in the options and then total the number of carbon, hydrogen and compare with this given compound. Question 13, the substances formed from the combustion of petrol in a car engine includes. Now, in the internal combustion engine, when petrol burns, so number of reaction takes place as the air goes into the engine for the combustion of petrol. So water, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen does not produce. Water, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen chloride does not produce. Chlorine, water, carbon dioxide, and sulfur dioxide, it does form. And water, carbon particulates, and hydrogen. Hydrogen never produce. So the correct option is option C. Question 14. Which of these atmospheric pollutants is not emitted during the combustion of alkane car fuels? It means which of these compounds given in the option is not the atmospheric pollutant come from the car exhaust. So nitrogen dioxide, yes, it comes. Sulfur dioxide, it produces. Octane C8, H18, unburned hydrocarbon comes out, but only option is A. It doesn't release by the car during combustion, so option A. Question number 15, although this question is about alkene, so when it reacts with chlorine, so one chlorine will come here and one chlorine will come here. Now, when the chlorine will attach to this and this both carbon of the double bond, so you can say that one chlorine will be here and one chlorine will be here and this bond will become single bond. Now, we'll number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, total carbons are 5, so pentane, 1, 2 dichloro alphabetic order, and 4 methyl. So 1, 2 dichloro, 4 methyl pentane. The correct option is option D. So it's better to work out this question also instead of randomly giving the answer. And electrophile, now this is easy question. So electro means electron and phile means loving. So electrophiles are electron loving species. So if they like electron, so accept a pair of electrons, yes, this could be correct. It is electron loving and it will accept the pair of electron instead of always has a negative charge. No. Always has a positive charge. No. This is confusing. So donates a pair of electron. No, it will accept because it is electrophile. Members of the homologous series of alkanes have the same. Now these are the characteristics of homologous series of boiling temperature, density, empirical formula, and general formula. This question is also a repeating question. So the members of all the homologous series are having same general formula. Question 18, a single molecule of decane is correct. Which of these mixture could not be formed? Again, the same idea, you have to work out the question. This is pentene, so better to write C5H10. And this is pentane, so C5NH12. So it will make the formula C10 and H22. It could form. Now ethene is C2H4. Butene is C4 and H8 and butane is C4H10. So this is 4, 4, 8 and 2, 10. Carbon is 10 and hydrogen is 4 and 8, 12 plus 10, 22. So hydrogen is 22, so it does work. Propene having 3 carbon, hydrogen double. Propane C3H8 and butene C4 and H8. So look at here, 3 and 3, 6, 6 plus 4, 10, carbons are 10, 6 plus 8, 14 plus 8, 22, hydrogen are 22, so it also could form, while hexene C6H12 and propane C3H8. So here carbon 6 in 3, so it will give carbon 9. It comes from carbon 9, so this is the correct option. So in this case, if you simply add the number of carbon atoms of the product, so and then relate it to the reactant, that is decane. Question 19. Curly arrows are used in reaction mechanism. The curly arrow shown represents the moment of, this is full arrow. It shows the moment of the bond pair of electron. So n electron, no. N electron, no, because for one electron moment, we mention the curly half arrow. So the first two options are wrong. A pair of electrons from a bond to an atom forming of free radicals. No free radical forms in this case. So the correct option would be D, which is left over. A pair of electrons from a bond to an atom forming ions. In heterolytic bond fission, always ions are produced. So the correct option is option D. Question number 20. Why does free radical substitution have limited use in the industrial chemistry? The options are the reactions only occur in the upper atmosphere. The initiation required ultraviolet radiation. This is the condition required for that. Further substitution products are formed and termination reaction produce unwanted product. Actually, this one, the further substitution products are formed. This is the correct option. And for this reason, its industrial application is limited because we cannot produce a required product as it gives a mixture of products and the substitution reaction continues. So this is one of the drawback of this reaction. Question 21. Methane reacts with excess chlorine and UV light. Which process occurs in the initiation step? It's a very clear answer. I just told you. And this is homolytic fission. How curly half arrow from the center of the bond and two chlorine free radical will form. So correct option is option B. Which of these molecules could not be formed in a termination step? In the termination step, HCl cannot produce. The reason is in termination steps, always two free radical forms. Like if this could be the product, so this could be formed from these two, like this. But this is okay, it can be produced, but hydrogen free radical cannot be produced in the substitution reaction. This I told you before. So this point keep in mind, and correct option is option D. Question 22 is a substance is labeled with a hazard symbol shown. What is the meaning of this symbol? So you can see the hand, and this is the most probably the acid, and this is some kind of fabric or something. So what is the meaning of this? So gloves, no, corrosive. Corrosive means it can damage our skin and fabrics, and most probably it is alkaline solution or acidic. Question 23, when carrying out chemical experiments, the hazard and risk must be considered for a given chemical. The hazard is fixed, but the risk varies. The hazard varies, but the risk is fixed. Both hazard and risk are fixed, and both hazard and risk vary. If I give the example of H2SO4, so its hazard is that it is corrosive. Now, there is a high risk to the students when they do the experiment while using the concentrated sulfuric acid. So if you dilute sulfuric acid, so the hazard is there, but the risk is reduced now. One thing, if we wear gloves, so the risk is again reduced. We use lab coat, so the risk is reduced. If you use goggles, so the risk is reduced. So the first option, that the hazard is fixed because acid is always corrosive, but the risk can be varied. So correct option is option A. Question 24, propene 2-in-1-ol is flammable. Flammable, toxic, and environmental hazard. Which hazard symbols should be shown on its containers? So this is very clear, like this is flammable, this is toxic, and this is environmental hazard. So the correct option is option A. My dear student, this is for flammable, and where the big circle is given in the flame, so this is for oxidizing agent. This you should keep in mind. Always they give to confuse the student. This is for oxidizing agent and this is for flammable. So the correct option in this case is A. Heterolytic fission produces, suppose heterolytic fission produces free radicals only, ions only, so the correct option is ions. Let's suppose heterolytic fission is like when both electrons of the bond goes to one atom, so hydrogen lost its electron and chlorine gains that electron, so the ions will form. So the correct option is option B. Question 26. How many structure isomers have the formula C6H14? This is hexane, so work out the question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. One formula with a straight chain, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Reduce one carbon from the chain and just attach it here. Again, with the 5 carbons, so write in the same way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just change the position of the branch. So 2 with this one. Then you can now reduce one more carbon, so just attach one and one here. And the last one you can draw that both could be attached to the same. So total 5 structures are possible for this. So it's better to work out this question and then answer the question, okay? So the total number of isomers are 5. Now this question, when C20H42 is cracked, each molecule produces one molecule of ethane, one molecule of butane, and two molecules of hydrocarbon E. It would be more better if you write your equation. So it will help to allot one molecule of ethene, so C2H4, one molecule of butane, so COH10. Now, two molecules of the other hydrocarbons, so 2 and 4, so already we placed 6 carbon and 14 hydrogen. So 20 minus 6, so how many carbon left? 14, so divide by 2, so 7. So it means it could be either this or this. Now C7H13 can never be the product. So if you write C7 and H14, so it would be the correct answer. Now just review it again. Carbon 2, carbon 4, 6 carbon and 14. So 6 plus 14, 20. So it is okay. Now hydrogen, so 14 times 2, 28 plus 10, 38 and 38 plus 4, 42. So this is also correct. So the correct option is option B. This is repeating question like what is the total number of structural isomers with the molecular formula C6H14? We already did this question and the correct option is 5. But if it comes in the paper, so please work out, be sure, and then write the correct answer. Question 29. Which pollutant cannot form when alkane fuels are burned in the car engines? Hydrogen chloride, sulfur dioxide, carbon particulates, and carbon monoxide. So hydrogen chloride can. Hydrogen chloride and hydrogen, they cannot produce inside the car exhaust. Okay. Question 30. Which of these occurs in a propagation step in the reaction of methane with chlorine? Propagation step. Propagation step, molecule and free radical will be on the reactant side and molecule and free radical will be on the product side, but different one. Look at here, both radicals join, so this is termination step. This is also okay, kind of, but like the problem here is that this is methane. Methane cannot react with CH3, it is reacting with chlorine free radicals, so this is not good. And here both are molecules, so this is also not good. So the only option left is option B. So look at here. When CH3 methyl free radical forms, so this electron and one chlorine take its electron to make CH3Cl, and this chlorine will become free radical to continue the reaction. So the correct option is option B. Ethane reacts with bromine in the presence of ultraviolet radiation. What is the equation for the reaction? Now, this is a simple question. Better to work out the question. C and H6 plus R2. One hydrogen will be out and bromine will enter. So C2H5OBr and plus the second product will form HBr. So here the correct option is option B. The ultraviolet radiation is needed for, so the ultraviolet radiation is needed only for the first initiation step where bromine bond splits are break down homolytically and we get two free radicals. So homolytic breaking of the Br bond, so this is the correct option. Question 32. Which is not a step in the reaction of chlorine with propane in ultraviolet radiation? Which is not the step? So this termination step, this is also termination step, this is propagation step. Now HCl is not there. It is only the product. It cannot participate again. So the correct option is option D. Question 33. What is the systematic name or IUPAC name of this compound? Now, you will select the longest chain, but like you will number the chain from that side to which the double bond is closed. You will take care of the branch this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be 6, this could be 6. So it is up to you. This is a branch and this is a branch. The carbon which does not hit the number is a branch. So 4,5-dimethyl. 4,5-dimethyl is not any other position, and this is a double bond is at one position, so 1 in hex 1. This is the correct option. 4,5-dimethyl hex 1. Question 34. The reaction of methane with chlorine is a free radical substitution. Which termination step does not occur? Which termination step does not occur? So again, like this is termination step, yes, this is also termination, this is also termination. Hydrogen free radical never ever formed in the substitution reaction. Keep in mind this point, and this is the correct option. Question 35. What is the number of structure isomers with the molecular formula C5H12? Now, earlier, two times the question came for C6H14. This time it came for C5H12. So, as I told you before, you have to work out the question 3, 4, 5. This is one structure. Now, reduce one carbon. This is one. And now, reduce one more carbon. And this is the other. So, total 3 structures are possible for C5H12 pentane. Question 36. 4 bottles are given and a technician is asked to store 4 reagents bottles safely. The only information about each substance is the hazard label on the bottle. It means 4 bottles are given, WXYZ are given, and the symbols are given, hazard symbols are given. So based on the hazard label alone, which 2 bottles should never be stored together? So this is actually for oxidizing agent. I just told you before, this is flammable, this is corrosive, and this is toxic. So which two cannot be placed together? W and X. Correct option is option C. This is oxidizing agent. It can provide oxygen and this is highly flammable. Suppose any organic compound. So if they are in the same cover, so there is a high risk that they may catch fire. So they cannot be stored together. So the correct option in this case is option C. Dear student, I think this was the last question. So thank you very much. I will be happy and appreciate if you subscribe the channel. So you will receive the link for the related videos. Thank you very much. Take care.